Last week, Switzerland agreed to disclose the identities of nearly 4,500 wealthy Americans with money hidden in secret accounts at Swiss banking giant UBS. Has the Swiss bank account, long considered the gold standard in offshore tax secrecy, lost its luster? Will Canadians with money in Swiss accounts stay protected from the prying eyes of the Canada Revenue Agency?
No, let's go back to the beginning and see how this whole thing started to unravel. It started in Liechtenstein when you had a disgruntled employee, a simple teller, which downloaded information, lists of bank clients, and then the information was given to German tax authorities. Because of international tax treaties with Canada, with the United States, with other major industrialized nations of the world, the German tax authorities shared that information, shared those lists, and now the Canada Revenue Agency is forced to investigate those individuals on Canadian territory.
What action is the CRA likely to take on these accounts?
They will begin an investigation, and depending on the results of their investigation, their questioning, they will either lay charges or not.
How much money are Canadians hiding in Swiss bank accounts?
Billions of dollars by the last account. The way that the Canada Revenue Agency or the Ministry of Finance or the Treasury Board can figure that out is by the actual money supply.
How did the IRS find the trail of American tax evaders?
Well, that principally started with UBS, again a disgruntled employee, one that was on American territory. Apparently he had been fired, although that fact has not been verified, but he gave the IRS a lot of information, and they acted upon it and put tremendous pressure using this information against UBS to the level that the Swiss government had to get involved to try to calm the situation down and come to some kind of agreement with the American government.
Is having money in a Swiss bank account automatically considered tax evasion?
Not automatically. If you report it to the CRA, the Canada Revenue Agency, there's nothing illegal about having an offshore account or an account in another jurisdiction, as long as you report it. It's the people that don't report it on their income tax return that have something to worry about.
What can Canadians with offshore money in Swiss accounts expect from the CRA in the coming months?
If their names appear on a list, they can expect at the very least an investigation against themselves. They may not even know it's underway, and by the time they find out, it may be too late. For example, the CRA may show up at your house with a search warrant with the police.
Will a Swiss bank account ever be safe again?
Well, I can't really answer that question. I'm sure that the Swiss bankers will regroup and try to reinvent themselves in a new and intelligent way, but until that time, you are at risk if you're on one of these lists. Do you really want to wait for the bankers to reinvent themselves while you're at risk?
Are there any safe tax havens left?
Fewer and fewer. In fact, the only way you can effectively do this is if you use the tax treaties and look for low tax jurisdictions. Really, that is only advantageous to international businessmen who try to repatriate money back to Canada.
How can Canadians with offshore bank accounts protect themselves from the CRA?
For starters, don't try to deal with it yourself or through a tax accountant. This is not a simple administrative matter. If your name is on a list given to the CRA by foreign tax authorities, you will be investigated. You need a serious tax law firm dedicated to the field that can protect your legal rights and get you a favorable resolution.